I guess we're not arguing about animated Snyderverse anymore. Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the dceu Daily and the Ryan Reynolds Zack Snyder's Justice League cameo thingy rumour is getting more mysterious and mysterious. Nobody knows what's going on now. But right here on Wednesday's edition of the dceu Daily, exclusively here on my channel, Big Mouth, we are going to solve this mystery. Right, let's go back to when we were fighting for release, the Snyder Cut. Now, there's a young British actor called Sam, and when we were kind of fighting to get this cut of Justice League released, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, Sam, and I've forgotten for the life of me his surname, did everything but confirm he was playing Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. So we made an assumption that it was him playing Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Then once Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced to be streaming next May, we hope, or April 2021 on HBO Max, the rumours began. Grace Randolph, John Aaron Garza, a very prominent Release the Snyder Cut fan who puts edits together, were claiming that definitely Ryan Reynolds would cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League. We all assumed that he would then be playing Hal Jordan, a.k.a. the Green Lantern, reprising his role from his very own Green Lantern movie. And in fact, John Aaron Garza believes that's what's going to happen. Right, so we got that. Now, there's a portion of the fandom, as usual, we're split in half and we're split in quarters. None of us agree because none of us agree about anything in this fandom or in any fandom. So there's some of us who think that's absolute BS, and there's some of us who actually believe it. I'm on one of those who's always wanted to believe it. I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds and his Green Lantern movie, and I would love nothing more for him to cameo as his very own Hal Jordan in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So wishful thinking kicked in. I said, yeah, I want to believe it because it's something I'd like to happen. Right. Yesterday or the day before, The Cultured Nerd, which is a fan site, pretty much dceu fans, right, Snyderverse fans, claimed that Ryan Reynolds was one of many being considered to play Hawkman, right? So we discussed that on yesterday's dceu Daily. And by the way, both my videos yesterday were a mess because I was working on assumptions that were certainly untrue. So after that rumour about Ryan Reynolds being considered for Hawkman, why do I keep on saying Hawkman? Hawkman? This is how Ryan responded. I am not playing Hawkman in Black Adam, although I generally do whatever The Rock tells me to do. I would, however, love to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, and I've heard I may already be in it. Snyder Cut, hashtag Snyder Cut. But he didn't stop there, so we all assumed that this meant he's actually in the movie, right? But Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, pretty much he was trolling us, and here's the confirmation. So he then posts a melody of sequences from his Green Lantern movie, and this is what he said. Here's the secret Reynolds cut of Green Lantern you all haven't been waiting for. In order to make it as great as possible, we made some judicious cuts. So you get lots of different cuts from the movie, and you get that bit from Justice League when the League is standing together. It's at that moment I realised we are being trolled and trolled heavily, and that's when I made the decision that in fact Ryan Reynolds isn't going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and if he is cameoing in it, he certainly is just playing Ryan Reynolds or maybe another role rather than Green Lantern. But for me, it's a bunch of trolling, and to me, it seems like it's not happening, right? So then, it doesn't stop there, because later that day, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, gets involved with the trolling. You are playing Hawkman, and that's that. You are also Deadpool, Green Lantern when you want to, because you own the intellectual property. You're in the Zack Snyder Justice League movie, and you're also Kevin Hart's for Real's dad, like in real life. as per your blood test. So basically, we are being trolled, and we are being trolled heavily. So it seems to me, basically, that this is not happening. This was never happening. So why did this big reaction from Reynolds and The Rock happen yesterday? I believe Warner Media themselves are fed up of this rumour about Ryan playing Green Lantern. It's just an uneasy rumour, because when rumours are discussed and they're treated as banter, or, take it with a pinch of salt, it's fine. But when people believe something that's not true, wholeheartedly, I think the studio have a problem, especially if Samuel is actually playing Hal Jordan. It's disrespectful on Sam, isn't it? I mean, Sam's a brilliant young British actor, and he was brilliant in the War of the Worlds miniseries. He's so good, and I think it's a shame on him for this rumour to persist. But again, John Aaron Garza believes he has receipts. He believes Sam is not playing Hal Jordan, and Ryan Reynolds is reprising his role as his Hal Jordan from his Green Lantern movie. Why are you asking me? What do I know? I know nothing, not about this. So it's an absolute mystery. But for me, after what went on yesterday with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, I have to say that for me, this isn't happening. This was never going to happen. Now, let's be absolutely specifically clear here. If I'm wrong, then I will apologise, because yesterday I was wrong. I made all the wrong assumptions because of his first post, I assume. He's saying I'd love to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but apparently I already am. I forgot that this is one of the most sarcastic guys in Hollywood. And that's the thing here. So I have to come to the deduction, as Sherlock Holmes would say, that the evidence that proceeds in front of me means that Ryan Reynolds, in fact, is not playing Hawkman, and he is not in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and young Sam is, in fact, playing Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, in Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's my opinion. That's not a fact. But all I can tell you is, and it's amazing, the more that Reynolds trolls everyone, the more everyone kind of believes there's a conspiracy out there that he is playing him. Now, everyone's asked Zack for some kind of confirmation, but if you were Zack Snyder and you had someone like Ryan Reynolds connected to your film, it's part of the buzz. And HBO Max surely are loving this as well. But, of course, it's a double-blunted sword. Again, it's all about DC fandom. These things will be, these rumours will either be confirmed or dismissed, because I do believe we are going to get a 5-year slate. I do believe there's a big, big plan, and I think these people know exactly what they're doing. A lot of people saying they're going to get confused by the multiverse strategy because they're not sure if they're happy about certain things being DCEU and certain things not, and believing that this will be confusing. I believe, again, at DC Fandom, there will be clarification on everything. But in terms of Ryan Reynolds, I have to say that I don't believe he's in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And there's nothing I would love more for me to be mistaken about this. But there doesn't seem to be any mistake here. I mean, anyone who sees those two posts, especially the clips of Green Lantern he put together, I believe this is clarification that we are being trolled. I believe that this is clarification that it's not happening. And that's all I have to say on the matter at this point. It looks like some fans just didn't get the memo that the past regime of Warner Brothers did interfere with directors' work. But there's a new regime now owned by AT&T, the newly formed Warner Media. And this is the point I'm trying to make to everyone, that there's no interference now from this company, but still fans keep on asking James Gunn if the Suicide Squad, his Suicide Squad movie is 100% his movie, and this is what James Gunn had to say to one fan asking this question. I can confirm the Suicide Squad is 100% zero interference, no holds barred, me and again. I can't wait for you guys to get a glimpse of it at DC Fandom. Yes, I'm pimping Fandom a lot, but that's because I know how exciting it's going to be for my film and other stuff too. And he says some more stuff. Nothing about the Suicide Squad has changed either. We will be ready for our release on August the 6th, 2021. Until then, you can come see us at DC Fandom at the end of this month to see lots of cool stuff, and James is absolutely right. So, and here's a guy called Willie Wisely. I suppose he's a celebrity because this is what he had to say. I was thrilled to visit the set during filming, watching James guide 200 actors crew through nuanced shots. Fascinating, impressive, unforgettable. No doubt James Gunn's in charge. His voice booming over a PA system across 4 outdoor acres. Cut, roll, and my fave, put some Velcro on it. So that's that out the way then. So the Suicide Squad is James Gunn's vision. It was always going to be James Gunn's vision. You don't mess around with people like James Gunn. James Gunn's interesting because when he's worked on Guardians of the Galaxy with Kevin Feige, obviously he was allowed to make his movie, but there were certain things he had to do to be along the whole phase story, if you like, and with the stones and all of that. But mainly 95%, I would say that the Guardians movies are James Gunn, and that's how he's used to working. And so it will be the same. I think even more the Suicide Squad will be his movie. It's a standalone movie. I don't know if they have to guide the film to be in line with the DCEU for the next chapter. Obviously, they're going to have to leave Harley Quinn in a place to continue. We don't know what her future is in the DCEU and the DC multiverse strategy as well. So that's very intriguing as well. And I wonder if there'll be any Harley Quinn announcements at DC Fandom. I guess we'll have to wait till August the 22nd and find out. We have another bitter blogger. Let me introduce you to Chase Mitchell. I write for TV and clean up my dog shit with a little bag. Oh, and I also think we should defund the fucking police. That says everything, doesn't it? That says everything. Extreme left, it's always the same people. They are so consistently bad with their hot takes. He doesn't like Zack Snyder, and this is what he had to say. Here's how I feel about the Snyder Cut. Justice League sucks. And you can blame Whedon all you want, but that is most likely the best cut of that movie that could have possibly existed. Telling me there could be a twice as long version with no jokes is my literal nightmare. Try to imagine Ben Affleck's Batman going up against Jared Leto's Joker. You can't. He'd be more annoyed than anything. That fucking EDM DJ murdered Robin. Insane. The DCEU sucked before Wonder Woman saved its arse. Right, Chase, let's expose your crazy mind. Right, let's talk about this. Chase, listen to me. Wonder Woman didn't save the DCEU because something only needs saving when it's in trouble. And the DCEU was brilliant. It was going great guns. No, it wasn't making MCU money. But I tell you what, there was millions of people around the world who were supporting these movies. And I believe after Justice League, the support would have been more and more. But anyway, Chase, if you just want movies with jokes, and if the DCEU is your nightmare, don't watch it. Don't be involved. No one's forcing you to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Everyone else will. But of course, Chase, you will be watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. If anything else, just so you can slaughter it. You'll probably like it, but pretend you'll hate it. Anyway, these type of people are so predictable. And of course, he's got his nice little blue tick. So he thinks he can say whatever he wants. And we can all say whatever we want. But at the end of the day, what happens is, when they say these things and then the Snyder fandom come in on them, then they start going on about toxicity, pretending every Snyder fan is a male, blah-de-blah-de-blah. These people basically are all the same. They make the same noises. And I mean, normally I'd say it's great to actually ignore them. But sometimes they do need a reply. And I can tell you, thousands of Snyder fans have given him a response. We have a new description, a new bio for Wonder Woman 1984, but this time in Japan. So this is what it is. Official synopsis for Wonder Woman 84 released in Japan today. As an archaeologist diner who works at the Smithsonian Museum is a Wonder Woman who has extraordinary superpowers, said to be the strongest hero in the world in 1984. Wonder Woman is in desperate, deadly Wonder Woman in desperate, deadly danger. In the face of an enormous conspiracy of businessman Maxwell Law, who sings loudly to fulfill people's desires, and a mysterious foe, Cheetah, can Wonder Woman stop the world's collapse alone? Alone. So that's brilliant. So that's a bit of a good one. So the US is going to release on October the 2nd, 2020, hopefully. Released in Japan Friday, October the 9th, 2020. Nationwide distribution, Warner Brothers. Film, Wonder Woman 84. So that's a good little bio for it, isn't it? Yeah, I think we all want to see the completed version of this film. We want to see the theatrical cut of this film. We are very excited to see Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot's, sequel to the first Wonder Woman film, even though they keep on telling us it's not a sequel. It is a sequel, but it's its own thing as well. And they're the best films, aren't they? So, yes, definitely. Now, of course, we already know that Mulan will be on Disney Plus in September. You can buy it on a streaming platform that already charges you a premium subscription for $30. But you get to keep it as long as you've got your Disney Plus subscription. So if you stop paying and they boot you off the streaming service, you don't have it anymore. So basically, as I predicted a long time ago, VOD, video on demand, is the future, and this is what's happening. And because of the pandemic in America, and I think most cinemas are shut, they had absolutely no choice. The question is, what does this mean for things like Wonder Woman 84 and Tenet? If cinemas continue to be closed, and if the pandemic keeps on getting worse and worse in the States, what will Warner Brothers and AT&T and Warner Media decide to do? They have Tenet and they have Wonder Woman 84. Tenet's more difficult because Christopher Nolan is insisting on an IMAX cinematic movie theatre release. But I think in the end, if it carries on like this, he'll have no choice. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of Wonder Woman 84, it would be a lot more easier to do an HBO Max straight to streaming release for it and maybe do the same thing Disney do. Or would they just put it on there? No, there would be no profit to be made. Yeah, they'd get extra subscriptions, which they'd make money from, but there's more to be made by charging $30, right? Will people pay $30 to see Mulan? Yes. Not everyone will, but a lot of people will. There's the hype. People will feel they're missing out. If they don't, if they've got the $30, people are stuck at home around the world, they're going to do it. Now, obviously, the big question surrounding video on demand is the experts say it can't make as much as it can make in the movie theatre. And I've always disagreed with that, because if people are willing to leave their homes and make a movie from $500 million to $1 billion, if you're sitting on your ass at home, why can't you make just the same, maybe more? It doesn't make sense why this isn't possible. Of course it's possible. Now, how much can Mulan make? Well, first of all, we've got to see what the reviews are like. It's like everything. It's about buzz and everything else. But I believe Disney Plus will make money from this. I believe they will make... The film could potentially make 300 to 500 million. Any more would be amazing. Listen, they're not confirming that Black Widow will also go straight to streaming on Disney Plus for the same money. But I think that Mulan is the test case. And not just for Disney. Everybody is watching. Because if Mulan does well on Disney Plus, I can guarantee you, officially, the movie theatre is absolutely dead, and there'll be contracts, and the movie theatre companies and chains will have to strike a deal with the studios. I believe we are heading for a future where you'll be able to watch movies at home or at the cinema at the same time. It will be absolutely your choice. And in business, the consumer needs as much choice as possible. This is a good thing. I know video on demand deniers can't handle it. Now, whether this happens to Wonder Woman 84 or not depends on the state and the development of the pandemic. Personally, I think Wonder Woman 84 probably won't be in movie theatres by October. Maybe it will. But I think you're also... Listen, whether it's released on October the 2nd in movie theatres or not, you and I know not everyone is going to risk the pandemic by going to the movie theatre. And how many people are going to want to sit there wearing a mask? So I think it will be on video on demand, maybe on HBO Max, maybe on Prime Video as well. people will have the option. This is now the future, and it's a future I'm looking forward to. In Man of Steel, near the climax of the film, we saw many characters sucked into the Phantom Zone. Brilliant characters like Faora, and many more characters that we would love to see again. Now, I've got an idea. How about a straight-to-streaming HBO Max series titled The Zone, The Phantom Zone, whatever, focusing in the Phantom Zone, these characters that got sucked into the zone near the climax of Man of Steel. I think this would make either for a great movie or a straight-to-streaming series, unless they're actually going to tell us what happened to those characters in the next Man of Steel film. That's if Henry Cavill's Superman actually gets a sequel. Again, we don't know what's going on. There's a lot of tight, closed lips about the next step for Superman. And we must talk about Superman. Some people believe that J.J. Abrams is definitely getting a Superman film, and I believe so. Some people only think he's producing a Zack Snyder film. I don't believe that, by the way. I think Zack's too busy to even do that, but who knows? Anything's possible. But more than likely, J.J. Abrams will write and direct the next Superman movie. Now, I've said all along that I believe he will cast his own Superman. But I must say, I am relenting on that a little bit. And maybe he is going to carry on with Henry Cavill. And maybe he's going to continue David S. Goyer's and Christopher Nolan's Man of Steel story, where we see these people sucked into the Phantom Zone, where we see what happens to them. And also, we find out what happens with those millions of Kryptonian cells inside of Kal-El, aka Superman, and maybe there's a story to tell with that. I always thought that a Man of Steel sequel would deal with these things, right? The Codex, right? The Codex. It's all about the Codex. Any Man of Steel 2 should always deal with the Codex and the people sucked into the Phantom Zone. And I must say, I do believe J.J. Abrams will write and direct the next film. Maybe he'll co-write it with Chris Terrio, as he did The Rise of Skywalker. Now, people are blaming Chris Terrio as well for what happened to The Rise of Skywalker. That film you saw wasn't Chris Terrio's and J.J. Abrams. That was a studio botch-up job, as Justice League was. So stop blaming J.J. and stop blaming Chris. I would love them to write Man of Steel 2. The only reason we didn't get an official Man of Steel 2 is because WB wanted $1 billion for Man of Steel. They didn't get it, so they thought, let's inject Batman into this, right? And they just dug themselves a deeper and deeper hole, right? As much as I love Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel. And I can't wait for the future of Snyderverse and the multiverse as well. But one of the most insane things that the old WB regime did was bench Superman. You guys know how I feel about that. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And hopefully the new regime understand that Superman is the most important character they have. And at this point, I think it's important we just get this done and get this done properly. So I'm predicting now and changing my mind a little bit that J.J. Abrams, in fact, will keep with Henry Cavill as Superman, right? Maybe I'm wrong. We will see. I think fandom, something's going to be announced, definitely. This will be clarified. Everything's going to be clarified. There will be no secret keepers anymore. The fans will know it all because AT&T are all about their customers, right? So I believe we will get a J.J. Abrams Superman movie announced. He'll write and direct it. He'll write the screenplay alongside Chris Terrio, maybe with a little help from David S. Goyer as well, just to clarify some of the situations of the first Man of Steel. So I believe we will get this sequel. This is a big moment for J.J. Abrams. This could be his redemption. J.J. Abrams is no doubt a talented director and storyteller. I remember watching Alias and Lost. He's a genius. But he got his fingers in too many pies. And it's time for JJ to focus on creativity again rather than business. This is an important part in the history of this director's CV. He was doing TV shows, high, edge-of-your-seat TV shows that everybody loved. Then he got the opportunity to do films. He's made some good films. I think Mission Impossible 3 is a really, really good film. Star Trek 2009 is amazing. I thought Into Darkness wasn't a bad film, just wasn't as good as the first one. So he can do it. And we are where we are. JJ didn't just hand over his money for Justice League Dark. He's a massive Superman fan. Even his good friend and former Lost co-creator, Damon Lindelof, who developed and ran the Watchmen series, the critically acclaimed award-nominated Watchmen series as well. He said that JJ's a massive fan, but he's not going to clarify whether he's doing a Superman movie. Those type of noises mean that JJ Abrams is going to make a Superman film. And it would make absolute sense for him to make a Man of Steel 2, a sequel. As much as I've always said that BVS is a Man of Steel 2, it is a sequel. It didn't deal with the things that were left over from Man of Steel. They went and done something else. It still continues, right? And it's still got those tonal things from Man of Steel, but it does feel like we're starting a new chapter more with BVS. And I think with this kind of with the Codex and the Phantom Zone situation, those things haven't been mentioned, and they're the kind of things you can do in the next Man of Steel film. So prediction: J.J. Abrams to write and direct, Henry Cavill to star, and Chris Terrio to co-write the movie with J.J. Abrams. But as I said, either DC Fandom is going to make a fool out of us or a genius out of us. It's very exciting. We're in August. We're a couple or 2 or 3 weeks away from 24 hours of DC talk, DC reveals. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait. And by some miracle, if I get over 1,000 subs, I will be doing DC Fandom coverage with live streams with guests. It's up to you people to spread the word about Big Mouth. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.